You're watching HuffPost Live. I'm Alicia Menendez. Pulitzer Prize winner Jose Antonio Vargas is rekindling a national conversation about how news organizations refer to immigrants who live and work in the United States without papers. The New York Times and the Associated Press both continue to use the term illegal immigrant, which Vargas deems offensive and inaccurate because it criminalizes immigrants rather than their actions. Illegal versus undocumented isn't just about words. It frames a critical divide on this issue, and it serves as a reminder of just how contentious this debate has become. Joining us, we have Adam Rose. He is the Standards editor here at the Huffington Post. He's in LA. David Leopold is a HuffPost blogger and general counsel at the American Immigration Lawyers Association. He's in Cleveland, Ohio. Gabriela Garcia is a senior campaigner at Presente.org here in New York. Jesus Enriquez is a dreamer and an organizer also at Presente.org in Berkeley, California. Monica Novoa is a coordinator at the Drop the I-Word campaign. She's joining us from Brooklyn. And Refugio Mata is at Project Economic Refugee. He's also in Los Angeles. Jesus, this speaks to me to the fact that underlying this entire discussion is the fact that most people don't understand how hard it is to become a U.S. citizen, whether you be trying to petition from it abroad, whether you already be in the United States. It's not as easy as just showing up at a consulate and filling out a few papers. Nobody wants to be here and undocumented.
From my personal experience, I've had close friends and family who think that it's just a straight line from, getting in the back of the line to waiting your turn and then getting into the office and getting your paper stamped and then you're set. And speaking with close friends, they also feel a sense of frustration where it's like, you're not doing anything about your situation. And when I try to explain to them, well, I've been exhausting absolutely every single opportunity and every single legislation that I absolutely can to try and figure out a way to adjust my status, for them it doesn't make sense. And so even close friends and even family members who don't understand and who have undocumented immigrants surrounding them, I can only imagine the confusion and the absolute absurdity behind the entire situation around people who don't interact with undocumented people as far as they know.
Jose is my friend. I clearly agree with the sentiment behind this, and illegal undocumented isn't a tomato-tomato type of situation. These words have real meaning. Why is illegal a problem?
Like Jose says, it's inaccurate language. If we know that it's not a legal word, why use it and why pretend and give it that facade of being legal language? But it also is dehumanizing, and it completely skews the conversation that we're having. So we never get to really talk about the root issues of immigration. Everything is about how a person can be illegal, and we know that it's just not true. Contraband can be illegal, there are things that can be illegal, but to say that a person encompasses illegality is it's dehumanizing, and it's wrong for many reasons.
She's absolutely right. If you take a look at the immigration law itself, the term illegal alien or illegal immigrant doesn't appear anywhere in any of the enforcement provisions. It is in there in one minor area, but it's insignificant. I think not only is it dehumanizing, but it's actually legally incorrect. There is no such thing, for the most part, as an illegal immigrant or illegal alien. The statute doesn't refer to it, and the only people, what it suggests, she's absolutely correct, what it suggests is that a person, by virtue of being in the United States, just the presence in the United States, they're committing some sort of crime. That's not true. It is not a crime to be in the United States without proper immigration documentation. And in fact, the only people that can be prosecuted for being here without proper documentation are people who have been deported once and then re-entered.
Undocumented immigrants suggest that there is currently a path to documented status, executive orders notwithstanding. That just isn't the case. I mean, we want to swap out one word for another. You have a suggestion for what might be an even better term than undocumented.
I think that the term illegal immigrant is really constricting, and it narrows the kinds of solutions that we can have in the debate. For the past 6 or 7 years, I've been advocating for the use of the term economic refugee, which basically arrives at bringing into the discussion the issue of one of the major true root causes of illegal immigration, and quote unquote illegal immigration, which is the economic conditions that are fueling the immigration from third world countries. For example, you have the policies that fuel displacement of farmers in Mexico via NAFTA policies. So until we don't actually have a serious discussion of what's behind a lot of the immigration that is taking place, or displacement of workers and displacement of people from Latin America or other countries, we are never going to arrive at serious permanent solutions.
I think the term has come to take on a life of its own, and it is problematic when you see that 1 out of 3 Americans believe most people are, quote unquote, illegal immigrants. What they mean when they say illegal immigrants should get out of this country, what they mean is Latinos should get out of this country. People don't belong here. And we see, for instance, in 2011, when the immigration debate was really heating up and people were writing about it, we saw a huge spike in hate crimes against Latinos. So the way this debate is framed, the language that is used, it's not simply just news.
And we started off this conversation today talking about Jose Antonio Vargas and his experience. If people out there aren't familiar with it, it's almost mind-numbing to stop and think about what happened to him. Here's a guy who grew up thinking he was an American, that he had grown up here legally, and he knew he had immigrated at some point in his early childhood, but as far as he knew, he had all the paperwork in line. He had a green card. He didn't find out until much later in life that green card was a forged document. And so, his only sense of identity was wrapped around being an American. I shouldn't say only, obviously there are a lot of things that people identify with, but if someone is on any side of this issue, if they could just pause and just imagine, what if they suddenly found out, whether they're 35 years old or 16 years old or 70 years old, hey, you know what? You don't actually have the paperwork to be in this country, legally. That could change anyone's perspective, I think, very quickly.